everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and it's time for me to do my March memory keeping spread. I do these very simply by using the Epsom photo app in collage mode, and I just dump all the photos into that and print them out. If you don't have that sort of thing with your printer, you can download the free app Pick Collage. It does exactly the same thing. And voila, you can have your photos done. I actually accidentally grabbed a piece of Kodak presentation paper instead of photo paper, but they have turned out very nicely. So I've put the pictures down already, roughly where I want them to go, because you don't need to watch me glue down all the photos. I'll just show you the fun bits. So the first thing we need to do, I want to put on here that it is March. So I'm grabbing my tweezers and these letters, sticky ones that I found in my stash. I've got tons of these things. And we're going to just... Whoops, are they going to be naughty, are they? Oh, great. Oh, that's a good start. Okay, hang on a minute. Maybe I better try using my finger and being a little more gentle, or I won't be using these letters. Hang on. It gets very thin in here, so just we'll gently... Oh, I've done it again. Okay, that's all right. What we're going to do is we're just going to stick it down anyway, and then I'll repair that bit in. I have had these in my stash for quite a while, but that's okay. We will make them work. It's not quite straight, but it's the best we can do. I'm not going to try and do anything else. I'm going to see what I'll do, I will get a black marker and just colour in that little bit of white there. I can do that later. So what have we got? M-A-R-C-H. Now let's see how we go with the C. Hopefully this should, yeah, this one's come off much better. So seeing that's a bit crooked, maybe we should make them all a little bit crooked. Oh, anyway, it really doesn't matter. M-A-R. Now I need an R. I have one of those. I don't want that little bit. Get rid of you. Pull this off very gently. Didn't realise they were quite so thin, you see. I'd forgotten about that. And then we'll put down the R. Oops, nope. We need an A. Yeah, we'll pop out that little bit. And lucky last, we need an M. Oh, this could be fun, this one. Wow, okay, it gets very thin up the top there. Yep, but we got it. Almost broke it. Let's get the M down in the middle bit here. Then we'll feed the rest down. Oh, God, I didn't think that was going to be so difficult, but we got there in the end. Okay. Voila. So, now we know it's March. It's a little wonky, but guess what? That will do. Then the next thing, I have this gorgeous die cut. It's from a packet I bought when I was in the US. Because honestly, the weather and rain has literally consumed where we live. Now, I live in southeast Queensland, so it's subtropical. Now, as a general rule, cyclones very rarely make it down south to where I am, Okay, so up north in the tropics, it's cyclone season, and that is to be expected. But it's very rare for us to get one, but it was our turn. And it's been 50 years since Queensland had a true cyclone. So it was officially declared a cyclone on the 1st of March, and Alfred tormented us for days before he finally did his thing. So I'm going to pop that in there, maybe up a tiny bit. There we go. Because honestly, it's all been about the weather. So I thought that was perfect. Now, the next thing I want to do is I need to add my dates in. I have a lot of these Kaisercraft sticker books. I've had them for years. And this one happens to be in this bright colour tones, except I think I might use these lighter ones because a lot of my photos are quite dark. So we're going to start off, actually it might be easier if I take this page out. Sometimes when you want to bend them up to release them, they can be a bit naughty, but that's okay. So on the 1st of March, we found out Cyclone Alfred was playing around in our part of the world and forming out over the water. I saw this little image on Facebook and I just had to grab it. In southeast Queensland, we have what is called the big pineapple, and pineapple is a very common sort of little guy, girl that used to describe Queenslanders. And then we've got the rough surf because a lot of Queensland is on the water's edge. And of course, lots of wind and clouds. So I had to save that onto my phone and use that. Now, keeping in mind, we're now up to the 8th, and that's when this cyclone finally crossed the coast. It made landfall, but it had thankfully dropped down to a tropical low. But the only trouble is where I was, we were as safe as, and we hardly had any wind or rain up on the Sunshine Coast. But Brisbane down, they had an absolutely horrendous time. I think 300 and something houses without power, 300 and something thousand houses without power. Yeah, it was bad news. So it crossed the coast on the 8th. The 9th and the 10th, the 9th especially, the amount of rain that fell down south was horrific. My brother actually was worried on the 9th that his house might go under, but thankfully it didn't. Then he was due to have an operation on the 11th, and we were very worried that that might not go ahead because there was power problems, there was road closures, roads underwater, you name it. It was all happening. I might put this over here, right in this dark patch just for now. But thankfully it did. 5.5 hours later, he had a new knee. So that was wonderful because he's been waiting for a long time. The date changed because of commitments he had and stuff. But anyway, it's all done. So that's fabulous. Now, just backtracking to the 8th. This is the day the cyclone arrived. I actually went out for breakfast that morning because up here on the Sunshine Coast, other than being grey and a tiny bit windy, we were just waiting for something to happen and it never did. So we went out for breakfast and that was a good idea. Then a few days later, we went down to our local golf club. They have new owners. Well, they've been there a while now, but they're rebuilding their restaurant scene there. So we went and had lunch and honestly, it was amazing. This was a homemade brownie, and I promise you it is the best brownie I have ever eaten in my life. So I'll be going back there, that's for sure. I did want to put in here that the 2 astronauts that were stuck up in space for 9 months made it home safely. I thought that was worth remembering. So definitely popped that in. This is my brother a couple of weeks later. Well, no, not quite. Actually, 9 days later. And that's some of the stuff happening on his leg. Lot of bruising. So yeah, it's a bit tough for him. It's been a hard road so far, but he will get there. Then on the 22nd, went to the Parisian Beach Hotel for lunch, and it was absolutely fabulous. I had a mojito because it was a hot, sunny day. Surprise, surprise. We actually did have some sun. Karage chicken and the most amazing beef and lime soft tacos. Oh, they were delicious. So that was very successful. And guess what? We started off with a rain event, and we are finishing the month on a rain event. It is mind-blowing the amount of rain that has fallen. So I'm going to put, I wasn't sure what date to put on this, but honestly, it could be any date. It started off out west, out in the country. They've had an excessive amount of rain, and then lo and behold, it's headed towards us. So where shall I put this? I might put that up there. There we go. So yes, we are finishing the month with flooding everywhere. All the poor farmers, all their, especially the cattle, because the out west is where all the cattle farming's done. They now can't feed their cows. That we're going to have to airlift them in feed, and it's so unfair, but that's life in Australia. We're used to wild weather, and we have a huge country with all sorts of different things, but that's how it goes. So what I did I just made my own stamps using a variety of different blue inks. I thought I would sort of go with that flow, and I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape to put each one of these down. No, we might put that over here. Maybe, oh, this is what happens if you change your mind. But I just want that to nudge over there, so it sort of relates to that picture. Then I have the D-Day. While we happily went out for breakfast, and it was absolutely delightful. So we'll nudge that one in there. And then Anthony's knee operation. I just thought this was a good way to sort of fill up some space. Let's see, where shall I might put, oh no, I might put that one down here. Then Fab Lunch at the Golf Club is the next one. And might nudge. No, I don't want to cover that brownie. It was too delightful. That would not be good. So we'll pop that one down there. And then we've got our astronauts back home. See, sometimes I like to put things in my memory keeping that not necessarily just happened to me, but things that have captivated the world. And I tell you what, this certainly did. We've been watching these poor guys stuck up there for months. So I do like to include major world events. Just another little thing for my brother and his knee recovery. We're just going to pop that down there. I think that might be the best place for that. And then lunch out. We can definitely fit that one in down there. There we go. As you can see, they're all slightly different. Some of them I even use 2 different inks to make, you know, sort of a bit multicolored. Oh, it's all very fancy around here, you know. Joking. And then finishing with floods. Honestly, you just wouldn't believe it. So I realised I had room for a little bit more deco, and I didn't know what to use. So I went through my stash and I found these fish. And I decided I think I need a few of them here somewhere, because honestly, I feel like a fish out of water this month. It's just been unbelievable. I'm sure we'll break a lot of records in our state for the amount of rain that we've been having. So I thought I might put a couple of these very cute fish And the colours, of course, go perfectly with what I've been using. So, have our little fishies. And then these are actually meant to be like, you know, water drops from splashing fish. But I thought I might use them as raindrops and just add a few of these pretty little sparkly raindrops around the place. Not that a lot of Southeast Queenslanders look that pretty and sparkly this month, but I thought we could add a few. Because we did get some rain when the cyclone hit, but luckily no flooding or anything up here. Let's pop those there. And I've got a few more, so maybe we'll add a couple around the fish to denote them splashing around in the rain. I did that the hard way. And then I think I might just put the other, I've got a few left here. So sometimes you just never know. I honestly, I've had these fish stickers for I don't know how many years, and I've used them a couple of times, but they were absolutely perfect. I just couldn't find anything else in my stash that I felt belonged. So raindrops it is. And a few fish. Oh, look, I've got one left. Why don't I use it up? We'll just pop that down here. There we go. So that's it. Now, how simple is that? Very simple, but very effective. And at a glance, I can just look at the main things that happened in March. I might have to add a bit of glue to these guys because they don't want to stick down so well. But that's that. So I just thought I would show you, and then you can have a little peek at how my month went. I hope you all had a good month. Now, if you have any questions about how I do this, please leave them in the comments box below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.